I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day.
Hello, little wolf. Hello, little wolf. Hey guys. Why is the table set up? You don't know, it's for the celebration. What celebration? The transformation of the world. The world is perfect now. The world is perfect now? It's perfect already? Nah, I was just kidding. No, we're getting ready though. We're getting ready. Okay, so this could happen soon. Pretty soon, just around the corner, so I want to be the first on the block to declare today is the first day of the celebration that is to be the rest of your life, okay? So we want to be the first in there. I see, so you're saying that people will still compete with each other even after the world is perfect? Why is it important for you to be first? We're so anxious to get going with 800 years, or an eternity, in fact, of happiness that let's start right now and let's not put it off. What if some people have misgivings? I mean, my life was good before sometimes. Now we'll be good all the time. Are we going to appreciate it if it's always good? Well, yeah, little wolf, that's a good question. I mean...
But what about sadness? What about emotions? Not only happiness, they're important too.
Yeah, what about all those emotions? I mean, how are we going to read, like Dostoevsky? If people grow up in that world, they're never sad. What did we need Dostoevsky for, all right, if we didn't move out of that era into a better era? He shed light on all the dark, dank processes of the human mind. To what end? To just perpetuate it? Yeah, but what about that movie like Apocalypse Now? When Coppola said, I'm going to make an anti-war film and show people how terrible it is. And then he went and made that first attack scene, with the helicopters. And he made it look so cool that the day after people saw that, they went and joined the army. I mean, when Dostoevsky wrote his book, didn't he know what Coppola had done? Did he take that into consideration when he wrote his depressing novels?
Maybe Coppola went a little bit later than the...
All right, yes, thank you, Teresa. Even somebody who's 10 years old knows more about history than you, Gabrielle. Or are you thinking Dostoevsky lived after Francis Ford Coppola? There's like 100 years difference between the two of them.
Even though I don't even know who they are, actually. But I thought that it would be logical.
Oh, but that wasn't because she knew more than me. She was just thinking more logically than me. She's thinking more logically than you. All right, fine. Okay, well, good for you. You're a little bit older than she is. All right, and you can't think that way? This is like my last chance to think unclearly, isn't it? Why can't I have fun now being, dumb? You want to be dumb. You're going to go into the new era. People will say, hey, what'd you do in the pre-quantum era? You'll say, I was dumb. I don't know, why not? I mean, what are people going to say? Oh, you were dumb, huh? So get out of here. There's not enough happiness to go around. If everybody is dumb, because it's their last chance to be dumb, okay, we might never enter the new era, because everybody will be too dumb to see the door. I don't see the door. I don't see the door. The door when it appears, it hasn't appeared yet. You mean the usual door? I mean, we go in and out every day. It's not like I came in here and, I'm in a new era, wow. Okay, there was no new era today. Okay, not yesterday, not if I remember, correctly. All right, when I say door, I'm speaking metaphorically. I'm not saying there's a physical... Who knows, though? Maybe like a Stargate will appear. So you're saying that if I'm really dumb right now, that could hold everything up? Well, can't I just say, okay, you guys go on ahead, I'll catch up, later. All right, what if the door closes? Okay, what if there's like a limited time offer or something like that? You think they're going to have that in the future, like in a better era? They're going to say, okay, we can make you really happy, but you got to come right now. And if you don't come right now...
If you don't go now, you are never going to be able to go to the better era.
All right, okay, Teresa, do you know every rule of the universe? Do you know every universal law? Can you list them? Can you name them to me? What are the universal laws? All right,
no,
you're claiming to know everything about the mechanics of ascension. Can you name even one universal law? All right, then why are you pretending to be the smartest one around here? All right?
I'm not.
So, little wolf, you're saying it's a universal law that if you're a laggard in school, like if you're a little slow, that you don't get a good life ever, like for all of eternity? No.
I know some universal
Ah,
ones.
you do? Okay, so what are they? What do you
Like
think that
bugs, like bugs flying around.
would be? You have to have bugs flying around. You have a lot of bugs flying around underwater.
No, I
You
mean,
go swimming, they fly into your nostrils while you're swimming. Is that what you're saying? No, they don't do that?
I
Or
mean,
what?
I mean they fly.
Alright, they fly around in the air. If you have an atmosphere, if you have air, then you're gonna have bugs flying around. Well, more broadly, perhaps you're suggesting that there is life everywhere, that everywhere is teeming with life. There's a lot of life
Yes.
everywhere. Even places that are completely dead. Yeah, we think they're dead, but it's not like there's nothing there.
They're like cactus in the
Ah,
desert.
they're cactus. Okay, that's right. So even a dry place don't have a lot of water. So little water, people drop down dead in a couple of days. Life is teeming with life, okay? Creation or the universe or everything or whatever you call it is teeming with life. So when people say to you like, get a life, you could say, oh, come on, there's life everywhere. So your statement is not even logical. Yeah, I never liked that expression. It never made any sense to me, all right? It's like, be a conformist. Conform to the way everybody else is thinking.
Yeah, well, like,
or get the hell out of
segue-
here. We're not going to do any of that in the new era, that's for sure. Quantum era. You want to think like a kook, that's fine. You can go off and kook yourself out until you're tired of it. Then you come back and people say, how'd it go? They say, oh, I really kooked myself out and I kind of had all sorts of strange ideas. It didn't make any sense, but I'm going to run with them and write the naked lunch of the quantum era. Go to the seminal tract or treatise on how to disregard everything that's good, not for the sake of creating bad, but for the sake of creating nonsense that you can extrapolate from and make something totally imaginative in a completely new way. Because if everything's so good, you got to keep things interesting. You got to keep things moving in terms of development of ideas.
And maybe in the future we can even remember the era and find good things in this era even in the new era.
Ah, yeah, there you go. It's like, how did we get here? And everybody will have a story to tell. And there'll be plenty of time. You won't have to kill yourself working.
There would not even be time in the new era.
We do things by the clock. We never get anything done, actually. You never want to start something if you know when you're going to have to finish it by, all right? So you can't do something really creative because creativity, you never know how long it's going to take. You can't make the creative juices flow, all right, just by telling yourself, especially if you're looking at a clock. There's no clock here. You see a clock here? No, but I'm dumb. There is no clock here, whether you're dumb or not, all right? Even for smart people, there's no clock here. Oh, I don't see a door, I don't see a clock, but that's okay because there isn't a clock. And the door hasn't appeared yet, hasn't opened yet. Yeah, I see you've got the table set up. Is there something else that we need for the celebration? Ah, well, let me see. There's something else I wanted to get. So here they are. I set them aside, and they're ready to be used. All right, there we go. Oh, what is it? It's a balloon. What do you do with it? Well, you blow it up. Well, why? Well, because that's what you do with balloons. You mean with a bomb? No, blow up. I mean you inflate
I
them.
can show you.
You inflate them. All right, so blow hard. Wow, it's really big. Oh, it hit me. Well, why is this happy face hitting me? I thought it was happy and it hit me. All right, it just flew. It flew. Okay, it didn't know where it was going. Well, why wasn't it looking where it's going? It has eyes, all right, but they're not real eyes. They're drawn on. It's not like it's a living thing. Okay, but little wolf, you said the universe was teeming with life. You said there was life everywhere, right? All right, then that balloon has to have life too, right? Or it has to have life on it. So any, like, little creatures living on it, why weren't they steering it and making it go in the right direction? All right, and why do you think it wasn't going in the right direction? Why do you think the fact that it hit you was the wrong direction? Let me take a look here. You gotta... I don't even see a smudge, all right? So how did that balloon hitting you hurt you? It didn't hurt me. It was just kind of rude. It was rude. Maybe you needed a rude awakening, all right? Maybe you needed to awaken to the idea that some things happen because they're meant to happen. Well, if everything is meant to happen, doesn't that mean that I could learn that lesson from anything that happens? Yes, you could, but in this case, something happened that appeared to you to be bad and undeserved and unfair, but you realized that it was exactly what you needed in order to figure this out. Because if it had never happened, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. You take the balloon, okay, you put it up to your mouth, and you gotta blow hard. It should be easy for you being a blowhard. That's a good joke, Gabrielle, yeah. Thanks for that joke, and we know it's just a joke. Blow hard means somebody who goes around screaming at people because they're absolutely sure that they're right in an arrogant kind of self-centered kind of fashion. All right, but when they really don't know what they're talking about, okay, that is not me. All right, I was about to. What are you doing with my balloon? Give me the balloon back right now. Right now. Who is in charge here? Who is in charge of this celebration? All right, what do you know about quantum leaps? What do you know about quantum entanglement? What do you know about the quantum era, Teresa? You want to inform us? You want to let us in? Because apparently we know nothing. You're taking the balloon right out from under my arms, so I can't blow it up?
There's a million balloons here, not this one.
All right, but I was blowing that one up, all right? I had chosen that one specifically. Actually, I didn't. You're right. I guess it's another act of fate. All right. Thank you, fate. Fortune, spin your wheel. You're giving it back to me now. All covered with slobber. All right? I don't need human slobber. All right? I'm a wolf. I'm not a human. All right? Come on now. All right, so let's see. Let's get this blown up. There's a movie called Blow Up. Has nothing to do with balloons. I thought that was it. Okay, it is about clowns, all right? Clowns, not like you clowns, but like scary clowns.
You clown.
I've got a scary clown. Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Have you ever walked down the street and somebody said, oh, here comes Gabrielle, he's probably going to punch me in the face. Okay, you look like a pussycat. I'm saying that you look like it looks like you wouldn't hurt a flea. Well, I wouldn't hurt a flea. Well, there you go. I like fleas. I like fleas too if they leave me alone. So let's get this show on the road. Let's blow this up here. Hey, little wolf. What?
I'm on the way in my beautiful balloon.
What are you doing? Don't distract me with who I've tied it off. If I don't tie it off, you can't distract me like that. Look what happened. Come on now, don't you know anything about balloons? All right, when I'm doing something important, please do not distract me. You think it's fun to fly around like that? Oh, that looked really fun, little wolf. All right, it wasn't fun. It was terrifying at first. Later, it was all right. If I had been able to control where I was going, it would have been all right, okay? But I don't know how to do that, and we got to get ready for the party anyway. So
and so we need to blow it up.
Yeah, you want to
like
help me
this
blow up
red
these
balloon.
balloons? All right, we got red ones too, all right?
It's like hearts, a heart.
They look kind of like hearts, all right? And I'm hoping that when you blow them up, they will continue to look like hearts. Hearts, like a symbol of love. All right, well, that's probably the idea, all right?
Like,
and they're red like blood. All right?
Happiness
like
and love in the new
love
world.
and happiness, there you go. All right, so it's symbolic. You guys want to blow up a heart? So what do I do? All right, so you put it to your mouth and you blow. All right, you don't blow it. You don't put it in your mouth and then blow it out of your mouth, okay? You hold on to it. What are you doing? No, why are you doing that? Look. You don't blow yourself. Look, talk about blowback. That's real blowback there. It backfired on you, and that's the blowback you get by not blowing right. Okay, let me show you how to blow up a balloon, all right? You take it. We'll take a red one. Doesn't matter what color. You put it up to your mouth, all right? You blow into the aperture. You don't blow yourself. You hold on to it. Okay, well, I guess I could try that. What are you saying? What is wrong with these balloons? If you let go, all right, they fly away. Well, I'm supposed to go to a party? People will say, hey, how are you, Miguel? I'll say, because I'll have a balloon in my mouth. I'll have to write notes and say, my name is Miguel. I've got a balloon in my mouth. No, you take the balloon and you tie it off, all right? Once you've inflated it, all right, you tie it off, and then you don't have to hold on to it, all right? You just release it, and then you can talk and say, my name is Miguel, I just blowed up a balloon. Can I try? Can I be yellow one? I hope this will make me happy. Kind of makes you dizzy, though. I feel a little bit, kind of lightheaded. Am I gonna feel lightheaded? All right, you are lightheaded, brainless ones. Can't be more lightheaded than I already am. Okay, so I'm holding on to it, because you gotta tie a knot in the end. Give me like that.
Let it go.
Wow, what a beautiful balloon. Wow, it's a happy balloon. All right, that's a great balloon. It's the trial balloon of the new celebration. And it's flying beautifully, magnificently. All right. If only the Wright brothers were here to see what they ushered in, sort of. Actually, we had this before. They kind of rediscovered it. But, it doesn't matter. Kudos to them, all right? Now we've got this, all right? And everybody's happy, all right? So we get some more balloons. Let's get them blown up, and then let's get this celebration on the road, shall we?
Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Fremde, étranger, stranger. Glücklich zu sehen, just wie enchanté. Happy to see you, bleibe reste stehen. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. Im Cabaret, au Cabaret, to Cabaret.
Alright, we're bringing in the quantum era. Welcome to the quantum era, everyone. Welcome to our dress rehearsal. You have marriages, you have people, they rehearse before the wedding day. We're doing that right now. We want to make sure that the celebration comes off as more than just your run-of-the-mill celebration. This is a big event. This is the big event of eternity. All right, and so we want to do it right. We need the happy guys here. All right, you're happy, right, guy? This guy's happy. They're all happy. Look at. What about that heart over there? Which one? What over there? How did that get in here? Hold on. What do we have here? All right, you want to come over here, little guy? All right, we're gonna set you up right here, okay? Is there something wrong? Do you have cardiovascular problems? You're frowning. You're frowning. In the quantum era, why would you be frowning? Look at everybody is mirthful. Everybody is full of joy. We are elated to have left behind however many millennia of suffering, all right? We need you to explain yourself. You understand I'm not really talking to the balloon. I am wondering, that is not a factory defect, all right? That is graffiti. That is defacement, literally. Is that you, Miguel? Was that you? Like mirth and funeral and dirge and marriage. We go forward into the new era, but are we really not leaving anything behind? Yeah, that's a question I had too. Aren't we leaving something behind?
Yeah, and we're leaving some good things behind in the last life.
You think they're gone forever? How is it they're gone forever? Can you explain that to me? You think you can't travel back, and go to any moment that you want to with the advanced technology we're going to have? Remember the guy in the fountain? He's like the oversoul of the other people, all right? He's about to rejoin. He's about to advance, ascend into the fifth dimension or whatever, all right? And he's got the tree, and he loves the tree. He wants the tree to last forever. He's holding on to it because it meant everything to him. It was his catalyst for his transformations. It was his connection. It was the connection between the various incarnations. How could he possibly leave that behind? If you had seen that film, you would understand that you got to let go. You want to take that with you. You let it go first because it doesn't disappear ever. Nothing disappears. Don't hang on to it. Don't hang on to anything. You can if you want to, but it's pointless. It'll just delay the moment of actually advancing forward because you can always come back because it goes with you in a way you just don't understand now, but you will understand. All right. Do you understand? Oh, well, look at it now. Am I mistaken? That balloon had a sad face on it before. It's happy along with the rest of them. Oh, yeah, I changed it. So I convinced you. Well, yeah, you kind of convinced me. I think, why should I be sad if I'm going to get, everything that I'd ever wanted? So that's pretty good. So even what I'm leaving behind, that'll be okay, especially if I could come back for it. That's the idea. We can come back whenever we want. We can even go back and pump up the power so that we forget everything.
I have an idea. Maybe we could have, like, Miguel and Gabriel playing out, talking with each other, like in a new era.
Well, imagine we're already there. That's a great idea. Okay, you guys. I guess we could try, so we have to imagine we're in the new quantum era. That is correct. We're supposed to be in the quantum era, right? That is correct. Probably they'll have, like, telepathy, right? I mean, it's like, it takes so long to say anything important, and nobody ever has time to listen, even to their own thoughts. They're so busy with something. With telepathy, okay, then you could really get to know somebody. You know who you match up with. What if I think, look at... He's got some dirt on his nose. Well, if you had some dirt on your nose, and I thought that, and you heard my thought, and I would hear your thought, probably I would forgive you for thinking that because I myself had thought that about you. So people won't be jerks. People won't say, oh, look what you did, and that's the same thing they did, but they won't be able to do that because people will know that they did the same thing. It's not that people will be afraid of being caught out in a lie or in hypocrisy. It's just that people will forgive. It won't matter. Oh, I see. So we have to have complete telepathy. Okay, let's do that. Can we do that, little wolf? Yeah, let's try telepathy. Okay, so like we're telepathic, right? We're telepathic buddies. We could exchange information about our ideas at the speed of light, or maybe speed of consciousness. That's even faster, right? It is no speed at all. You're anywhere you want to be in the blink of an eye. Faster than that. So we're imagining that we know what we're thinking. Why would you say that? Why would you think something like that? You're the one who thought it first. No, I didn't think it first. You thought it first. I just counter-thought it. Oh, you're gonna counter-think me now? You can't come up with your own thoughts. It's like I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks on you. You're gonna drag that pre-quantum type of thinking into this world? Oh my gosh, you're right. We're forgiving now, aren't we? Yeah, of course we're forgiving. So what is it that you thought? Well, then I thought that you thought that maybe my ears, they didn't really match, the shape of my head. I thought you were thinking that my nose was too black. Not in a racial sense, but in sort of a moral sense or figurative sense. Oh no, I wasn't thinking that at all. To be completely honest, I can be completely honest, right? Well, if we're telepathic. Well, to be completely honest, sometimes I think myself, I look in the mirror, I think my ears, they don't quite fit the shape of my head. That's why I automatically assume that if somebody were telepathic, that's the thought they would be having that I would be picking up on. Alright, I don't see any telepathy. If you have actual telepathy, you actually know what the other person is thinking. You're not guessing. You're guessing now because you don't know. You have to imagine that you have telepathy in a world where it actually works. It's easy to theorize about the post-quantum era. Not post-quantum, quantum era. We're in the pre-quant. Oh, we're pre-quants. What would the post-quantum era be? Alright, why are you doing this to me? Why? We're not even out of the pre-quantum era. Some people don't even believe there's a quantum era around the corner, alright?
Really?
We're trying to convince them, we're trying to show them that it's completely doable, and you're trying to tell me post-quantum? Next you're going to give me post-quantum? Okay, what is post-quantum going to be? What is post-quantum going to be like? Can you describe that to me? You're so smart. Well, I was just thinking, quantum, you sort of told us about that, where everything is like really nice and without suffering. But, that sounds a little bit boring to me. So maybe somebody would say, hey, we want to go forward to something, where there's a little bit of spice. And I'm thinking what that spice could be. Maybe cinnamon or nutmeg. I don't mean spice that you eat. I mean something that makes it special. Like a little added bit of novelty or revelry or devilry or jokery or play. Just some kind of play. Can you think of some more ideas of how to sort of spice up a perfect life so that it doesn't get dreary?
My idea is that, one of the children, they would say, hey, you know what? We're going to see a play tomorrow.
You're going to the theater to see a play, right? Okay, and?
And they'll be really happy. And then they'll come home and tell that to the mothers, and the mothers would say, really? They'll go back to school and say to the teacher, we're going to the play today. And she'll say, what play?
Alright, so you make up something that's not true. Everybody tells their parents totally disrupt their schedule, alright, losing millions of dollars. Nah, we're talking about quantum era. Alright, you tell them something's going to happen, it doesn't happen. How is that going to add spice to life? You want spice that's good, gives flavor, but doesn't give you heartburn, an upset stomach.
Yeah, maybe they'll say, you know what, today we're having a test. Then the teacher would say, no, we're not having a test. It was like a joke or something.
Ah, that's better. Alright, I see. So you're telling them they're going to have to prepare for something, and when the time comes, and they didn't have to, they're happy. Yeah, I had an idea. So what you're saying, basically, is that you fill somebody's head with negative expectations, and then when they're lifted, because they suffered a little bit, and then it turns out they don't have to suffer, there's like a weight lifted off their shoulder. So you could probably do that in a lot of different ways. Camille, there's a scorpion on your shoulder. What? Oh, get it off me! Get it off me! Camille, there's no scorpion! Camille, there's no scorpion! It was a joke! What? There wasn't a scorpion at all. But you said there was. Okay, but there wasn't. I was just saying that. Think about how happy you are now. Haven't you just breathed an enormous sigh of relief that you don't really have a scorpion on your shoulder? Still trying to catch my breath. That was terrifying. Would you rather have been stung by a scorpion? Okay, fine. I'm happy that I wasn't stung by a scorpion, but look at that rock! It's falling on your head! What? Oh, I see. I was just giving you a taste of your own medicine. A taste of my own medicine? Okay, that was terrifying. Let me ask you this. Okay, if you knew how terrible it was, why would you subject me to the same terrible emotions?
Rose, come here.
What?
Baby, we could Joe, baby, we could.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, together.
All right, come on. This is interesting. Can we do some more of this? All right? Let's get... Oh, yeah. Well, let's do that. Okay, we gotta get rid of that rattlesnake. That's a rattlesnake on your show. What? A rattlesnake? What? Get it out of here. Get it out of here now.
That's a good joke.
All right, that was not funny. All right, I am not a participant. I was not a participant in this dialogue. All right, stop your laughing, Teresa. Stop laughing. It's not funny. It is not funny. Get out of my way, stupid happy balloon. I don't need happiness. I don't need love right now. I'm angry with you. Rattlesnakes are dangerous. You're saying we have to have telepathy. Why didn't you know that Miguel was just joking? All right, but I do not claim to have telepathy. We're imagining telepathy. Can we please continue with that? But I'm thinking, what will the telepathy be like? It will mean that you can read people's thoughts. Yeah, so I know your thoughts, you know mine. All right, but there's some really, things that are so... It's not that they're too personal or intimate. Yeah, I thought about that too. Like, there's all this kind of stuff. People would forgive me for it, but it's just kind of embarrassing. They say, don't air your dirty laundry, like, in public. Oh, you mean a rolling stone gathers no moss? A rolling stone gathers no moss? What do you mean? I mean, look, don't you know Jack Nicholson, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Oh, yeah, the film. In a world where you're constantly moving forward, if people even learn about embarrassing stuff about you in the past, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. When people get telepathy in the quantum era, like, what's that, tomorrow? Maybe the day after. Well, okay, soon. And they'll have special abilities to kind of demarcate certain portions, like of their memory or thoughts. Yeah, there'll be some kind of etiquette, right? Some sort of mutual agreement. If the other person, crosses that line, everybody will know if you crossed that line. And so, because you'll know. That sounds like a good thing. I'm looking forward to that. So.
Me too.
So you think we'll wake up tomorrow, that's what it'll be like? Well, I don't know. It depends on... We got the balloons blown up. I hope it happens tomorrow. We had a couple pop on us. We don't have a lot in reserve, but...
Happy
right?
balloons.
We got happy balloons. They're happy. They're loving hearts because they're red. They're blown up like the Grinches. That's like more than 3 times bigger than my heart. It's like an elephant's heart maybe, or maybe a squid's. I don't know. Whatever it is, it's big. Okay, Quacky's already in bed. Okay, good night, Quacky. Good night, Owl. Good night, Gabrielle. Where'd they go? Quacky? Why did you wake me up? I had a terrible dream. But why did you wake me up? I woke you up to tell you about my terrible nightmare. It was a dream that there was too much happiness. Too much happiness? Is that really possible? It wasn't my nightmare. But why would you call it a nightmare if it was too much happiness? I would think a nightmare would be too much sadness or anger or sadism. I'll never get back to sleep. Oh, I have to go to rehearsal anyway. Oh, here comes Gabrielle. Gabrielle, would you sit down? Come on, Gabrielle, we want to get started. Get it away. Get what away? We need the decorations for the celebration. Right, but I'm not sitting next to any balloons. I'm sitting over here. Gabrielle, what is the matter with you? I had a dream that I was being attacked by a mob. A mob of happiness. A mob of happiness. What are you talking about? Balloons were crowding in from every side, from all sides. Can you describe the balloons? They were just like these balloons. So you took yesterday's experience. It obviously helped to broaden your perspective in your mind because something new popped up in your subconscious. You haven't had dreams like that before? Stay away from me. I never knew that happiness could be menacing. Happiness can be menacing. I see. Okay, it's symbolic. It's dream language. It means that you think that there could be something sinister about too much happiness. Too much happiness. Is that even possible, little wolf? Obviously, Gabriel anticipates, or his subconscious anticipates, that too much happiness could crowd him out. He's probably afraid that he'll disappear. There'll be so much happiness, there'll be nothing left of the original Gabriel shaking like a leaf in the corner of his bed. Is that what you were doing? But it was so realistic, the balloons look just like these ones. Alright, so these balloons, are they like attacking you right now? Ah! Miguel, it's not funny. Don't hit him. Like it's gonna hurt him. I mean, look how light it is. Okay, he has an irrational fear of them after his nightmare. Oh, I'm sorry, Gabriel. I didn't pick up on that because I'm not quantum yet. You're not telepathic yet. I'm not telepathic yet. It's like, welcome to the quantum era, but like, where is it? I mean, we've been waiting like all day. Alright, I did not promise you it would start today. So you're saying it's just an irrational fear that these balloons aren't actually going to attack me? Yeah, they couldn't anyway, because I could just take my claws and go poke, and they would burst like a balloon. Is that what you're saying? That is precisely what I'm saying. Okay, so I have to understand that it was symbolism. That if there's too much happiness, that something will happen to me. Something will happen to who you were. Who I was. I see. Why were they happy in Gabriel's dream? I mean, is Gabriel so unoriginal in his thought he couldn't come up with balloons with like teeth dripping with blood or something? Yeah, why am I so stupid? Why couldn't I come up with a more interesting kind of symbol? Alright, you were literalizing. You were taking an image, you remember, from the day before. You connected it with our idea that we're preparing for the quantum era, that there's going to be a lot of happiness, alright, and there could be too much, because there's not such a thing, alright? You just think there is, but it's just because we've never experienced even a drop of that. Well, we have, but we don't recognize it because it goes away so quickly, okay? When we have a lot of that, we're going to have to deal with it, but it's not going to hurt us, but some portion of our identity will be lost, okay? Because we will be completely different kind of people. We will not be the sum total of a limited amount of experience, because adding to all the negative stuff that happened, before the quantum era, is going to be a lot of real positive kind of stuff that will compensate and outweigh most of the negative for most people. Yeah, Gabriel, it's like, I would be happy to have a lot of happiness. What is wrong with you? It's your imagination now trying to cope with a world that we can't possibly comprehend, including Miguel, including me, except for theoretically. Alright, I can only theorize, and you have to derive from my theorizing what that actually might be like. Your subconscious is trying to do it for you, but you haven't come up with the right answer, but you've come up with the wrong answer, and that helps us because we can say, look, that's not really going to happen, that was just Gabriel's dream. Okay, so today the theme is the quantum era. Okay, we're going to be talking quantumly. Sometime over the course of this calendar year, you're going to see a change to the quantum era. This will be year 0. It will start April 1st, or September 1st, or July 21st, or December 21st. We don't know yet. Depends a little on whether we're ready for it. The actors are in their places. The only thing is left is for me to join. So today I'm not just going to be a director, I'm going to participate in the performance. And so we hope you like it. Thank you for coming. What do you think Little Wolf is doing? I don't know. Da 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 dun 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 dun. All right, there we go. Okay, there's the rabbit. You ready to begin? Rabbit. Is this part of the performance? React to the rabbit. React to it. Hello, little buddy rabbit. I just ate. Like, if you're an actor, they say you shouldn't eat. So if we eat on stage, is that going to ruin our acting? Or your acting is being ruined by not going with the scene. I don't think I'm going to be hungry anymore because it's the quantum era, so we don't have to eat at all. We don't have to do anything. Excuse me. Why do you think that?
Hey, look, if you enjoy something, you can still do it. If you don't enjoy something, you can stop doing that.
All right, that's... thank you, Teresa. I'm just thinking, I can understand that, and that I enjoyed eating, certain kinds of food, namely rabbit. Ah, you're referring to the rabbit. Shh. Now, that's the surprise. That's the surprise. Even the guys didn't know. Today was a surprise for them as well as for you. So, rabbit, welcome to the feast. All right, so the rabbit's going to join us for the first time, okay? Before rabbits would never sit down with the wolves. The lions might lie down with lambs, okay? But no rabbit's going to sit down with wolves at a table. All right, we could never do that before, but we can do that now, okay? Because they're not going to run away from us. Why would they run away from somebody who just wants to sit down and have a nice meal with them? Not of them, but with them. And that's what we're doing here today. That's the surprise. So, Little Wolf, are we like really already in the quantum era? Well, kind of, all right, if that's possible. If it's a quantum leap, does it have to be discrete? I don't know. It could be gradual. Let's say it's gradual. So let's move forward. Let's sit down to our feast. So feast your eyes on this feast. Okay, so what my question is, it's the quantum era, and we're trying to, get people really on board with that. And you would think that would be easy. You would think you would tell people, yeah, you're going to be healthy, you won't have to work, and you'll live like 800 years. And you tell them that, and it's like, do they not want to believe you? Do they really not want that to be true? I mean, doesn't everybody kind of want that to be true? So that's the audience we're playing to. So no matter how good we make it look, if they don't believe it's possible at all, that's first of all. Second of all, okay, if we're supposed to be putting on a play, like on stage to ostensibly to entertain, okay, how are we supposed to do that without conflict? So we're going to have some kind of conflict, all right, to drive the narrative, the plot, but how are we going to do that if everything is perfect? All right, you're asking two very different kinds of questions, but maybe we'll come up with some kind of answer that will resolve the two issues together at the same time. We'll solve all the problems in one fell swoop. That's the idea. If people are trying to solve problems in this part of the world or with this part of society, all right, and they're trying to do it separately. You can't get rid of intolerance of one race if you don't get rid of all intolerance all at the same time, and they'll never let you do that. They're always saying, if you aren't fighting for this one group because of what happened yesterday, then you're a bad person and you don't care about anybody. It's like being a pacifist, during a war. Each side in the war, all right, needs people to fight, even forces people to fight, all right, takes them away from their parents and loved ones and wives, all right, and sends them off to kill somebody or die, all right? But if you speak out against that in favor of, not having your own guys be killed, you're going to be called a pacifist. You could be put in prison for that. You can be executed for that because you're convincing people not to go off and fight in a war. But why are they fighting the war? To bring about peace. Okay, that other side is so terrible. We have to take it out in some way to bring about peace. All right, well, why don't we just have peace like right away, like right this second, like right now? But if you speak out in favor of that, you get into trouble. Even if I just remain neutral, even if I don't even try to explain my position, if I just remain silent, people are going to say, aha, you don't really agree with us because you're not parroting the party line. So Miguel is right to say that if we just show what it will be like, nobody will believe it. Okay, but what are we supposed to show? All right, and then we've got the notion that, okay, nobody's going to watch it now in the pre-quantum era because there's no conflict. How do we make it presentable and interesting to an audience such as yourselves? Maybe we'll turn this into like a feedback kind of thing. We'll get your ideas about what you thought worked, what you thought was working, is working. We'll look at them during the intermission. We'll come back and then we'll decide how we proceed further. Okay, so instead of trying to dictate our own version of conflict or non-conflict, we take into consideration the wishes of the perceivers. The perceivers become part of the perceived, all right? Because there's a feedback loop there. All right, so we'll try that. So get out your pieces of paper. We'll put the address or whatever up on the screen, all right? And then we'll come back a little later and we'll see what you wanted us to do. All right, take your break.
It seems the things I've wanted in my life I've never had. So it's no surprise that living only leaves me sad. Happiness, where are you? I've searched so long for you.
All right, welcome back. I hope you had a nice intermission. Look at the happy face we got over there with the critics. The critics are still happy, okay? We sent the balloons out to you. All right, don't take them and rub them against your hair because it makes a squeaky noise. Can we not do that, please? Thank you. During the intermission, did you collect questions from the audience about the quantum era? Yeah, I have them right here. Questions about the quantum era. Could we see someone literally die of happiness and collapse on stage? I would applaud that. Oh, that's some kind of wise guy. You want to see somebody claps on stage? Okay, the jokester that sent that question, why don't you raise your hand? Why don't you come up on stage, all right, and we'll show it with you.
That would be interesting to see, actually.
Do you think we should show that?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you thought you were so funny, huh? You thought you were going to play a joke at our expense? All right, we're going to show you. And if the other people don't like it, if it disgusts them, if it's unpleasant, if it's a waste of their time, okay, they're going to collectively come together. And in the middle of the night, when you're sleeping, they're going to tie you to your bunk and they're going to beat you with soap in the belly. So you better hope that Miguel and Gabriel come up with something clever.
Gentlemen, take it away.
It's almost oppressive, the happiness. Have you noticed? Yeah, kind of have. It's like I wake up every morning. I remember in the pre-quantum era, I would wake up and say, oh, another day of labor or another day of being talked about behind your back. No, it's like we get up, it's like, oh, another day of total pleasure from dawn to dusk. Yeah, it's kind of getting to me too. All right, hold on a second. Audience, forgive me. All right, what is the premise here? You're both trying to say that so much happiness becomes terrible because it's too much, because you have it day in, day out, and so that's going to make you depressed. Okay, if you don't want to be happy, if you've got too much happiness, why don't you just take a knife to your ear and just cut off your ear? That'll kind of ruin your day. So what, are you going to commit suicide because there's too much happiness? Who's going to believe that? Certainly not this audience. Where are you going with this? Oh, I guess you're right. I think it was just that we couldn't decide among ourselves. I mean, we kind of looked at each other in the eye. We looked each other in the eye, like during improv, like we do so that the audience doesn't know. We couldn't decide who was going to be the one that was going to collapse.
Maybe Miguel can be.
Well, okay, fine. I'll let you do it this time, but I get to do it next time. Okay, yeah, sure. Hey, Miguel, wow! I've been laughing and I just can't stop laughing. Inside, I start laughing because something is so funny. And then I can even tickle myself now, now that it's the quantum era. Before you couldn't. We never could figure out exactly why. But now you can do that even without, sitting on your hand until it goes numb. So I laugh all day long, and it reverberates inside because I've become completely hollow. You've got the dry humor of Buddhist theology together with the Three Stooges, and it's just reverberating into it. Miguel. Oh. And he had so much happiness yet to live for. Miguel, we'll miss you. We'll miss you. Although, I guess we won't miss him, right? Well, what do you mean you won't miss him? Well, I mean if we're happy all the time. Now it's a paradox. You've put us into an endless loop, all right? A vicious cycle. If everybody's happy, so happy you die of happiness, that even if somebody dies, all right, that's not going to make you unhappy if there's so much happiness that people die from it. I think we demonstrated the question was not nice, and I hope that the guy or the gal out there who wrote that tonight, you better make sure you're alone in the room when you go to bed, all right? Can we go on to another question? What are we going to eat? Will there still be watermelon? All right, is that some kind of joke? Is that a joke? All right, of course there'll be watermelon. There'll be everything, all right? We're not taking away food. Can we move on to a more intelligent question? Will a computer do my homework for me in the quantum future? Oh, that's a good question. Well, yeah, okay. Teresa, why are you laughing? Why is that funny to you?
Because why do you want a computer to do your homework if a person can explain it better than a computer?
All right, you're right, Teresa. We're supposed to kind of act this out, right, little wolf? That is correct. I have a lot of homework today, Mom. Mom? Mom! You have a lot of homework, so go to your room and get working on it. Otherwise, you don't get to go out and be happy. Okay. Well, this homework is kind of confusing. I didn't completely understand. Hello, computer? Computer?
Hello?
Can you do this homework for me, please?
Of course.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mom? Yes. I finished my homework. How did you do it so fast? Well, I did it so fast because I'm really smart. Okay, I guess you could go out and be happy, but be careful. Be careful when you're walking that you don't stumble over something. Stumble over something? You had a class on how not to trip over things. Don't you remember? I remember the class, but I don't remember a lesson about that. The whole course was over how not to trip over things. How come you didn't miss the whole course? I did my homework. Then how is it you don't know that when you go outside you could possibly trip over something? If you did all your homework. Because the computer did my homework for me, I don't remember. Aha! Now you understand that there's no substitute for actually learning. Why didn't you just learn it and then you wouldn't have had to cover up for the fact that you did learn it? I guess that's a good message, Mom. So, I guess I'll take that lesson with me into any possible future that's a result of a quantum leap. That's where we are right now. Oh, we're not in I'm confused. This doesn't seem like a quantum future. Maybe people are trying to get out of doing homework. This doesn't work, okay? I told you to run with it, but it doesn't work. Look, nobody's going to have homework in the future, okay? People will be interested in things. You'll ask advice from people you love and trust, what kinds of things you might want to look into, and then you'll pursue your own interests, and somebody will help you at times when you're not sure how to proceed. So you're not going to have homework per se. So the question is not going to arise to let the computer do it or not. The question might arise whether you want to get answers from a computer instead of thinking it through yourself first. And the problem is not just that Google is feeding you a bunch of propaganda and lies, all right? That's one thing, okay? But more than that, if you never make yourself think about something before you find the answer, then you're not going to be able to help the machines to get better if you're just thinking like a machine by getting the answers they feed you, all right? People are not going to do that. They're going to really want to understand things. Having somebody do something to prove that you did it when you didn't actually do it, that's not going to take place, certainly. So the question is invalid. Forgive me for wasting your time. It's a noble effort, Miguel and Gabrielle. And Miguel, I like the dig about Gabrielle being your mother. That was funny. Oh, would you say that was Freudian? Why would you want me to be his mother? All right, it wasn't Freudian. It was humor. There can be humor, okay, that doesn't have a double entendre, that doesn't have a subconscious aspect to it. It's funny because it's funny. All right, well, why didn't you just call me, like, dog? Okay, that would have been funny too, but in a different way. It was kind of funny because your voice is kind of higher than mine. Alright, but it doesn't make it a girl's voice. Okay, but the audience, they will accept that it might be funny that I would call you Mom, when I have the opportunity on stage to do that, and you can't really overrule me without embarrassing yourself in front of the audience. Alright, what do you think you're doing right now? Alright, curtain down.
Question rules.
Okay, we're back. All right. Gabriel, what's the next question there? What will people spend all day doing in the quantum era? Hey, Gabriel. Hey, Miguel. It's really nice to be in the quantum era. I agree. So, what are you going to do today? I haven't decided yet. You haven't decided yet? I haven't decided yet either. On the one hand, you know that whatever you do is going to be great, but then on the other hand, there's so many things to choose from. Before it was like, do I watch Channel 4 or Channel 5? Yeah, that's what it was like for a lot of people. Why don't we do something quantumly? Quantumly? Why don't we just deliberately allow whatever is supposed to happen to happen? Oh, you mean sort of like surrender to the flow? With no planning and no necessity of finding logic or meaning to something. It's like, there doesn't even have to be meaning in anything. We sort of dive into meaninglessness again, like it was before. Okay, let's do that. Oh, you bumped into me, or did I bump into you? Or did the world bump into both of us? Bumpity 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 bump. Oh, what? Oh, what? Ooda, ooda, ooda. Ooda, ooda, ooda. Whoa, what did you get out of that? What did I get out of that? What did you get out of it? Hard to say. I haven't done anything like that, actually. In pre-quantum era, we never did that. People would think there was something wrong with you, or that you were a fan of Samuel Beckett. So the meaning I got out of that was just not worrying about meaning for a little while. I was just completely not even controlling myself at all, as if somebody cut the strings of my controller. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what the controller, as great as consciousness is, sometimes you gotta tie yourself loose, meaning untie, let yourself go, tie one on, just go totally crazy. You can always go back to that, but you can't always be here with that, right? Because the soul doesn't die, but the body does. The body dies. The body dies, the soul doesn't die. It follows from that do as much as you can with your body, because you won't have it forever. You always have your soul, so does that mean that we can just kind of dirty our souls? That's the reason you shouldn't sully it, precisely because it doesn't die. Nobody cares whether you died with dirt on your face. They're not going to criticize you, not to your face. I'm not bringing flowers to that guy's funeral because he had dirt on his face. I don't think they're going to say that. I would never say that. So the body can die, so if you hurt yourself, that's fine eventually. Okay, but your soul's eternal, so if you hurt even a tiny piece of it, then it's kind of a hurt that it can never recover from, because it'll always have some sort of memory of that. Is that what you're saying? The soul is stained forever. The stain is there, but you don't hate the stain. It wouldn't make sense to hate the stain. I guess it would have to exist too. I guess you would want to avoid the stain getting really big. We'd be like, oh, there's that guy that's just a big stain. Let's stay away from that soul. Yeah, that's a lost soul. That's a dirty soul. That's the soul of a boot. It's a boot soul. That's a boot soul. That's a boot soul. Bootless to live that way. Bootless indeed. Oh, so how was that, Little Wolf? Was that okay, Little Wolf? Let me see if I get this right. Okay, what you're experimenting with is with meaninglessness. You're trying to find out what that would be, because everything potentially has meaning. You writhed around on the ground and stuck your tongue out at the audience. That could have meaning too. You could be saying, I'm just like a caterpillar that's going to be transformed into a butterfly, just going to crawl into my cocoon, but before I go there, I'll stick my tongue out at you, which is to say sort of, I'm going to have the transformation, and you're not, because you're not crawling towards it with me. You're sitting there passively watching, observing. All right? I understand that. Okay, so even your pathetic attempts at meaninglessness ended up having more meaning than what you usually think is meaningful. Do you understand that? Do you catch my meaning? It's really hard, Little Wolf. I don't know about for Miguel. It's really hard, Little Wolf. How do I be completely meaningless? Can I just randomly move? What would that be like? Yeah, what would that be like, Little Wolf? Would it be like sort of something like... I was aware what I was doing, even though it seemed totally random. I don't know how to randomize.
Maybe you can show to us, Little Wolf, if you're so smart.
Alright, I'm supposed to show something completely meaningless, right? Alright, how am I supposed to do that? If I'm silent, that has meaning. It has multiple possible meanings. It could mean that I can't come up with anything. It could mean that I'm saying, isn't it obvious to you what my meaning is? Even if I do nothing, that's going to have meaning. So you got me. You got me. Alright, it's impossible. It's impossible to do something completely meaningless. Can we move on to another question? Or was this related? What was the question we had there? People wanted to know what we would do all day. And we tried to say that everything that we've done was interesting because it had meaning. The only thing we didn't do is do something that didn't have meaning. But it turns out that in our primitive pre-quantum era, that's not even possible. Yeah, we pre-quants are pretty primitive. Yes, we are primitive, I agree. Meaninglessness is not having meaning, but not intending meaning, or allowing the meaning to arise along the way. Oh, okay, I like that answer. Very nice. Very nice. Wow. I wish I could fly. I wish I could crawl. What do you mean you wish you could crawl? I was just playing with my turtle and I thought, wow, look at him crawl. I wish I could do that. You can crawl. Turtles crawl, I don't crawl. Okay, but you can. Are you saying that you can fly? Oh, I'm not saying I can fly. If I can crawl like my turtle, then that must mean that you can fly like your owl. Oh, it doesn't mean that. Why do you think it means that? Out of principles of logic and reciprocity. Reciprocity? What does that mean? I don't know, but it's like, one thing does one thing and then another thing does the other thing too, kind of back. And if I can crawl like a turtle, then you can fly like an owl. Okay, John, you think I can fly? Okay, watch. What? Okay, did I fly? Well, no, you fell down. That doesn't mean you can't fly. What do you mean I just fell? Okay, but that's because you let yourself fall. If you'd wanted to fly, you could have flown. Look, watch me again, okay? I'm trying to fly. Oh, I can't fly! You see I fell off? That's because I can't fly. How do I know you were actually trying? Okay, well, why don't you try? I can't fly. Well, then how is it I can fly? Well, because your owl can fly. You said that I can crawl. You mean maybe if you can't fly, I can't crawl? Okay, why don't you try? Whoa, I can crawl just like you. I can crawl just like you, turtle. You were right, I can crawl, Gabriel. I was wrong. Okay, so then you can fly. I can't fly. There's no logic to that.
But if like a caterpillar crawls and becomes a butterfly, then you can fly.
Yeah, Teresa's right. What? Okay, so caterpillars can crawl, right? And then you can crawl, right? Well, yeah, right on my belly. Right on your belly. Caterpillars can also crawl, and caterpillars become butterflies. So? So what that means is that we can become butterflies because we can crawl. How do we make cocoons? Cocoons. You know the sting, like the caterpillars, they kind of make a little thing around them, like a really small garage. Really small garage. You know, where they can kind of like have a playroom. They come out later as butterflies. Okay, so you're saying we need cocoons? Well, I guess so. You're talking about a major transformation, like a caterpillar to a butterfly. That's a pretty big kind of thing. It's like going from one species to another almost.
Maybe you can make a little house out of pillows and out of a blanket.
Well, yeah, because caterpillars have access to a lot of leaves and twigs and stuff. But if they didn't, like if they lived in a house, they'd probably make cocoons. Hey, little wolf. Hi there, guys. What's going on? What are you doing? You playing with your toys? We're going to make cocoons. Yeah, we're going to make cocoons. We're going to go to Cancun? No, we're going to make cocoons. You're going to make raccoons? No, we're going to make cocoons so that we can become butterflies. I'm supposed to call you Madam Butterfly now. Not yet, I'm not a butterfly yet. Yeah, we're not butterflies yet. We have to make the cocoons, and then we'll have the transformation because we can crawl.
Maybe.
Yeah, we realized that because we can crawl.
You can use like 3 pillows and make like a cocoon.
Well, why are you here? I know why you're here, but why are you filling their head full of nonsense, like making cocoons out of pillows? Do you know what a cocoon is?
Yes.
All right, what is it?
It's somewhere where a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. It's like a house for them.
Right, okay, a caterpillar spins a cocoon. What do you have inside a fort made out of pillows and blankets that's going to turn you into butterflies?
But maybe pillows have something in them that nobody knows except for...
I see, except for the manufacturer. That's why it's illegal to take the tags off of mattresses, all right? Because
yes.
Either people are laundering money through them, all right, they're trying to hide that, or they're trying to keep them from doing that, or they want to control that, or they're actually inserting certain biochemical organic compounds that will permit Gabriel to transform himself into a butterfly. We understood logically that because we could crawl, we could become butterflies. You think people are going to watch this? You think people want to see a film about somebody being so deranged? Obviously, they think that because I can crawl, I can become a butterfly. What is that? Is that some kind of Rothschild Illuminati propaganda? They're promising you something impossible if you'll crawl on your belly before them? Why don't you crawl before the king or before the priest? Or in the army when you're crawling across landmines. Not across landmines, but is that what you're telling me that's going to make you a butterfly? How many soldiers you seen turn into butterflies? You know, they've got worker ants and like soldier ants. So maybe they've got like soldier caterpillars that turn into butterflies. Yes. Yes, okay, I will give you that. All right, fine. You're 100% right. Okay, but you, my friend, are not a cat. Have you looked in the mirror recently? How many legs do you have? Feel your legs. Right now, feel your legs. I can feel them. You mean touch them? Touch them. Okay, I touched them. All right, how many do you count? It's like more than 3, but less than 5. All right, it's 4. All right, 4. Approximately. Exactly 4 I can see from here. All right, so now, all right, how many legs do caterpillars have? You've heard the Aesop's fable about the caterpillar. The fable where the wiseacre animal asked the caterpillar how can coordinate the movements of so many legs at the same time. The caterpillar thought about it and wasn't even able to move. So how many legs do you think a caterpillar had that got confused like that? I was thinking 4 legs, like me. All right, and you get confused when you walk? Well, if I were to think about it, so if I stand up and you ask me, so how do you walk? I've never thought about that before. I can't remember. What foot do I move first? Do I have to move my right foot or my left foot first? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Whoa! I can't walk anymore. I can't even get up. I can crawl. I'll save you, Gabrielle. What foot did you move first? I moved them both. Okay, wait! All right, what are you 2 clowns doing? Don't tell me you've really forgotten how to walk. That's ridiculous. Okay, just forget I ever said it, okay? Get up without thinking. All right, now get up here on the couch right now. All right, does this happen with you all the time? Nobody fills her head with really confusing kinds of ideas like that and notions. I mean, is that going to happen? Like if I were to say to John, hey John, I'll bet you don't know how to digest your food. So I'm thinking about that now, right? What liquids I have to secrete and what enzymes to produce. Does that mean that I'm going to get an upset stomach from now on? No, it does not mean that. Look, there's some things you know how to do. If you want to think about how to do them, first observe yourself doing them in neutral mode. Don't try to say, oh, I'll do this and that. Or you don't have to take over control. You already have control. Your body knows. Little Wolf, you're the one who kept talking about, the quantum era, the new quantum era that we were celebrating.
Isn't this a transformation?
Well, yeah, you're talking about a complete transformation. Why couldn't that mean that we could become butterflies? Look, why would you need to change your whole species? What is wrong with being a wolf? Can you explain to me? Miguel went off and tried to be a hog, all right, in the one film. You're going off and trying to become Madame Butterfly in this film, all right? What is wrong with being a wolf? What is wrong with being a mouse? There's nothing wrong with being a mouse. If I were one, I wouldn't mind. I am a wolf. That is good enough for me. Why do I need to do something else?
If you're a butterfly, you can fly around and
don't you want to be able to fly?
And have a lot of flowers.
Why don't we also become jellyfish? Why don't we just become spineless jellyfish so that we can swim? All right, why don't we do that? I don't know. You mean if you can swim, you can become a jellyfish? No, if you're spineless, you can become a jellyfish. Well, is there a place that we can go and have our spines surgically removed? You want to have your spine surgically removed? Why? Alright, this is ridiculous. Okay, when I talk about the quantum era and transformation, I'm not talking about giving up what you were. I am talking about giving up what you were, but not necessarily transforming your body.
But if somebody wants to transform his body, or Gabriel and John.
Yeah, they go on and on about tolerance. Shouldn't I be tolerant about my own desires? Why not? All right, so let's set up the cocoons. We'll keep you in there without food or water. Keep that in mind, without any entertainment. It's going to be a snug fit, all right? And then I'll come back in 3 days and I'll see if you've turned into to butterflies. Okay, so goodbye, Turtle. I won't be able to see you for a little while. And when I see you again, I'll be able to fly. Will you be able to crawl? I don't know. Will I still be able to crawl? All right, you're the one who wanted the complete transformation. Can butterflies crawl? I don't know. They can walk. They got legs, right? Okay, we'll see. Goodbye, Owl. When I come back, I'll be able to fly with you. Wow, that would make me very happy, Gabrielle. I miss you. I'll miss you too, Owl. Goodbye, Quacky. When I come back, I'll be able to fly, unlike you. Why did you have to rub it in? I'll still love you, Quacky. Goodbye. Okay, we're crawling. Crawling towards destiny. Destiny, here we come, as fast as we can crawl. Okay, you two pupils, you want to get in there? Oh, you mean students, not pupils, pupas, all right? Get into your chrysalises. Okay, I'll cover that up for you. I'll be back for you in about 3 weeks. What? 3 weeks, that's how long it usually takes. Want me to fast track you? Yeah, can you fast track me? Back in 5 days. That seems like a long time. Okay, work hard on the transformation. Whatever that might entail. I have no idea what that might entail. All right, let's get this pillow down here. All right. Whoa, it's pretty heavy there. All right, there you go, guys. Have a good one, and I'll see you in a couple of days. John, a long time has gone by. How much time do you think has passed? Maybe about 12 minutes. I'm really hungry. It's really boring, too. Gabriel, I think I smell rabbit. Oh, you're right. Okay, I'll just come out just for a minute. Just for a minute. Oh, I got it. Okay, I'll come out, too. Whoa, I'm so hungry. I'm not hungry anymore. Should we go back inside? Yeah, if Little Wolf doesn't find out, then we'll still definitely turn into butterflies. I won't tell if you won't tell. Wink, wink. I won't tell if you won't tell. Wink, wink. Okay. Into our cocoons. In we go. Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. All right. Okay, so let's see, guys. Your time has come. The season has passed, and we will see what transformation has taken place. John. Call me John Butterfly. Oh, I wanted to call myself Gabriel Butterfly. You can't call yourself John Butterfly or Butterfly. You're a butterfly now. Wow, I can't believe it. Did you really transform into a butterfly? Oh, yes, I did. These are my new wings. Wow. Let's see what transformation happened to Gabriel. You got wings there too, Gabriel. You grew wings. All right, you transformed. It's a total transformation. All right. It's like Christ on the cross. That's why they call it the Chrysalis. All right, come out of the Chrysalis. So you want to come out? Let's see what you can do. Let's see you fly, guys. All right, that's what I want to see. Okay, what did we do this for? Because we wanted ourselves to be a living metaphor for the transformation we feel is about to take place. All right, and so you guys stepped up. All right, you stepped right up to the plate. All right? You volunteered to be pathfinders. All right, the trailblazers. All right, the icebreakers. We're gonna break the ice with you coming out. All right, of the chrysalis, and you're gonna fly free. Whoa! I feel completely transformed. Like I could fly. You mean like you could fly, or that you can fly? Well, I'm sure I could fly with these wings. So we were right, Little Wolf. It was possible. You were wrong. I was wrong. Okay. This is a historic moment, all right? This is bigger than the Wright brothers, okay? Because it's an actual genetic transformation. They didn't work with organics, all right? They worked with bricks and mortars. You got the natural wings now, I see. They look very nice. They look remarkably like birds' wings. Well, yeah, because I guess it's because if it's a hybrid, like wolf and butterfly, then the wings will kind of look like bird wings. That sounds really logical. Yeah, that sounds amazingly logical. You study Darwin? No, I don't speak Darwin. No, Charles Darwin. The doesn't matter. All right, so let's see you fly, John. Well, I'm a little tired right now. I think I remember hearing, like when babies are born, like human babies, they have to stay at the hospital a little bit. And so maybe I need to wait a little bit. It's like I haven't tried my wings. It's like maybe a jet lag. Okay, I have jet lag. You have jet lag. Okay, that's clever. All right, I'll give you 5 minutes. Okay, I'll go and check my rock collection, and I'll be back in 5. Gabriel, what are we supposed to do? I don't know, I can't really fly. Okay, but I'm not going to admit to Little Wolf that he was right. So jump off the edge of the couch and say that we flew a little bit and then landed. Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, let's do that. Oh, I think he's coming. All right, guys, you rested up? You over your jet lag? Yeah, I think we are. I certainly am. First flight goes to who, Orville or Wilbur? Well, who are you talking to? The Wright brothers. You know who they are? The antithesis to the Wrong brothers? No, that was their name, Wright. Who's going to step up to the plate first to hit a pop fly? Me. Teresa, what are you doing? You're the camera person. You're not an actress in this scene. Please stay out of the scene. Okay, you don't have wings. You don't have anything. You didn't go into a cocoon. All right, you're not part of this. What are you doing, John? Well, just stretching my wings. All right, fine. Gabriel, show me you got the right stuff. You can fly. Okay, so testing my wings, testing the waters, testing the airs. Okay, here we go. Geronimo! Whoa, wow! That was amazing. How long was my flight? It was about, well, let me see. So it's the height multiplied by the square of whatever. What does that mean? It means you didn't fly, you fell. Oh, I landed. You fell, all right? Okay, good. All right, you want to flutter around the light fixture, around the chandelier. You want to fly around it one time and show me you can do that? When moths do that, they always die. Okay, I see. Yeah, I certainly don't want you to die. Well, I don't want to die either. All right then, fine, good. Okay, let's have John give it a try then. John, have you got the right stuff? No, but I got wings. All right, that's enough. Wings are the right stuff today. Okay, it's so... Whoa, what a soft landing. Did you see, little wolf, how soft that landing was? That was an extremely soft landing. I'm very impressed. How did you manage to do that? Well, by flapping my wings. If I hadn't flapped my wings, I would have hit the ground and maybe hurt myself. Yeah, you're a soft toy. You're going to hurt yourself hitting the ground. I certainly can see that. I'm certainly glad you're all right. And thank goodness you got your wings. Well, yeah, thank you for congratulating me. Well, I haven't congratulated you formally for having taped on your wings that look like feathers of a bird. Because you two have the imagination of a parakeet. And I mean the parakeets that don't fly, that sit in the cages all day long, and nobody ever lets them out, and they'd probably rather be dead, right? That's the imagination you have. You don't even know what butterflies look like. You never spent time running around the fields in the summer. You never look around. You're too busy chasing rabbit tail. You're too busy chasing tail to see the butterflies flying around above the flowers. I told you we should have gotten real feathers. Real feathers would have been worse. Don't you understand? Butterflies do not have feathers. But you said we were a hybrid of wolf and butterfly would be bird. Okay, you think I was serious about that? You think Darwin would come up with some nonsense like that? Then in 2 hours, you got a laser, you got Dr. Gargaev's sonic energy, sort of waves going into you, manipulating you at the genetic level, allowing you to grow feather-like wings, like bird-like wings with feathers. Do you really think I would buy something like that? Well, we were trying to sell the story. You think the newspaper would buy that story? When I say buy it, I mean believe it, all right? I don't believe anything that you two jokers come up with, all right? So can we close the chapter on that? Is that the closure we can have? Why did we ever think that a wolf could become a butterfly? How did that discussion take place at all? Can anybody remind me?
I brought it up. John said if he can crawl, then Gabriel can fly. And I told them that a caterpillar can crawl and then become a butterfly. And then they got the idea.
It's your idea. Thanks for that bright idea. All right, yeah. So you humiliated these two. You let them make fools of themselves because of some crackpot notion that entered your mind together with silly putty or whatever else it is you stick in your ear that goes to the brain and rots it. All right, because... this is ludicrous. Look, when we talk about the quantum era, we're not talking about a physical transformation per se. That will probably also be possible. People will grow limbs and whatnot. Don't think they'll be able to make them fly, but maybe they can give them anti-gravity kind of suits, and you could probably maneuver those around. It's probably not hard to do. But not wings with feathers, okay? Not a literal organic genetic transformation within 2 hours without crystal chambers, just cocoons made out of pillows and blankets. But it's all right. It was amusing. I think the audience will like it. I think it will be funny for them.
Of course they will like
There you
it.
go. It will be funny to them because you made yourselves look like clowns, but we still love you even though you're clowns. Well, what if we were clowns like in that movie, It? All right, we would not love you if you go around hurting people, all right? But we will love you if you're just bumbling. Like people on sitcoms. Always, you love them, but they're bumbling, and then Lenny and Squiggy come in, and they're just stupid, like, hello. All right, and they never got any roles. They never got any roles after that. So it's kind of like that kind of clownishness, all right? So we forgive you, and the audience forgives you, and everybody forgives you, and we can go on with our lives, with celebrating the coming quantum era. We might even, since we're philosophical geniuses, we might even be able to find some sort of connection between the experiment here and the actual reality of a quantum leap and shift into a new era. All right.
course.
So thank you for illustrating that, literalizing that, and showing us that you can try, and if you fail, it's okay. At least you tried, and so we praise you for that, John and Gabrielle.
Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you cast. This is La Vie en Rose. When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see La Vie en Rose. When you press me to your heart, and in a world apart, a world where roses bloom. And when you speak, angels sing from above. Everyday void seems to turn into love song. Give your heart and soul to me, and life will always bleed. La Vie en Rose.